Yeah, welcome back, my dear students. So, with today's presentation, let me continue from where I had left in my previous class. So, we have already seen what is the open system interconnection. In my previous class, I have in a very detailed manner discussed about those things, and after that uh, I have spoken something about the modified OSI reference model as long as the IoT scenario is concerned, right? So in your OSI again, repeatedly I have been recalling this. There are 7 layers, right, depending upon our requirement, right, from the physical layer to application layer, right? So now, depending upon our requirement, we generally make certain modifications in this OSI reference model. So accordingly, we have come across one IETF, right? That is the Internet Engineering Task Force, right? So in this Internet Engineering Task Force, how exactly the different layers we can see, and which are the layers that have been combined together, that I think I have already told you in the previous class itself. Okay, so now if you look at this diagram, probably this diagram also we have seen in the previous class. So you have physical come data link layer, right? Then data adaptation layer, you know what is the meaning of data adaptation. Then network layer, then you have the transport layer, then the application support layer before you go with the final application, then finally you have the application layer, right? Please try to understand what exactly these things mean and where exactly they stand. Now on the other side here, you can see we have the similar terminologies as applicable to the IoT applications, right? You gather the information, enrich the information, which is similar to data adaptation. Then you stream the data, which comes under your network and transportation layer, right? Then finally you manage the data, you acquire the data, organize and analyze, so that takes you to the application layer. This is how the entire process has to get executed, right? So now if I remember correctly, in the previous presentation I had told you that I would explain all these things with the help of one example. So probably if I look at an example, probably we will be able to understand these things in a better way. Okay, so now let us look into the example which we have made a mention in our one of the earlier presentations, that is the street light control, right? So whenever you have a cluster of street lights in a, say for example, a place like Hubli Dharwad, right? So you have got different places where you have got the cluster of street lights. Then there will be one local control for that street light units, followed by a main control or master control, what you can call, so which is connected to your internet or cloud, whatever you call it. And finally there will be a central station by means of which all these street lights can be monitored, right? So if there is some faulty light, you can identify and you can give the instruction to replace them. If a particular light is continuously glowing even in the daytime, you can make sure that sitting at that particular place they are turned off. So you can customize the switching on and switching off of the street lights. So all these things are to be executed in a smart manner, in the sense, if there is a very less traffic, you can make only certain amount of lamps turned on, right? So depending upon the increase in the traffic, you can accordingly take the decision so that more number of lights are turned on, so on and so forth. So this is a very limited approach. You can have any kind of things you want, probably with the proper support from your infrastructure. Okay, so now how exactly we will try, all these things are the applications of IoT, right? According to me, since we are discussing about the IoT, whatever I have spoken so far about the street light control, these are let us say that these are the applications of IoT. Now, how we will try to consider this example from the point of view of this IETF 6-layer modified OSI reference model. Okay, now you can see here I have drawn one rough diagram. You can have a quick glance at this particular diagram, right? May not be very neat one, but I have tried to put it in a proper way. So now you have got the different street lights here, as you can see here, right? This is one street light, this is another street light. Like that you have got the cluster of street lights here. So like that you may have several such clusters which depend upon different areas, right? So then for each these clusters you have something called group controllers. This GC stands for the group controller. So this group controller controls the street lights corresponding to its jurisdiction, right, where exactly it comes, of course, as controlled by a central command or controlling station, right? So now all these group controllers are connected to internet, as you can see. So in this diagram I am showing you four such units. Okay, so there are group controller 1, group controller 2, 3, 4, something like that. All are connected to internet, and finally all these things are being monitored by a central command and control station, right? So this is how the schematic or the diagram of a complete the street light control is can be seen. Okay, actually the station, whatever you have there, it receives the information about each street light, as I've already mentioned earlier, right, of each group at a periodic intervals, right, at a periodic the same thing can be seen from the point of view of the smart energy meters, which I will take up later, not right now. You can have a similar analogy, right? And once the information is received, uh, which is related to the functioning of all the lights, as I've already told you, the faulty lights, presence or absence of the traffic, right? All these things, ambient conditions, the weather is cloudy or dark or normal daylight. So all these informations are received by the central command and control station. Finally, the remote programming, right, of this central command or control station, right? So that will automatically take some appropriate action depending upon what exactly is required to be done. That is called as the remedial action, right? So what remedial action you are going to take based on these things, right? So that will be done, and this you can in general call as the internet of street lights. In a very general way, it can be called as internet of street lights, because it's an application of internet of things. So here the things are street lights. That is the reason why I am calling it as internet of street light. So now in fact this thing can be seen from the point of view of the application in some cities or something like that. Now this particular example, right, I have to see it from the point of view of my OSI reference model, that is the modified OSI reference model. Okay, so now you go back to the same circuit, or I mean the same diagram. You can see here you have got the physical data link layer, data adaptation layer, network layer, transport layer, application support, and finally application. So now how exactly you can have these example, okay, from the point of view of these 6 layers, you can just think of on your own. Okay, uh, see, we start from the basic layer. Okay, so in the basic layer where you read the things, okay, where you read the things from the street light, you have the smart sensors and other things, right? So then after that, uh, okay, in the first layer, let us say that in the layer L1, right, smart sensing devices are there, right, and the data link circuit with each street light transferring the sensed data, right? So now you have got the street lights here, all these things, whatever it measures, right, the sensors, the corresponding smart sensors, they start transferring the information to the group controllers here, right? So from layer L1 to layer L2, right? So now in the layer L2, that is what is your group controller. Let us say that this is your layer L1 here, okay, or these things correspond to the layer L1. Now you go to the L2 where you have got the group controller. What exactly is the task of the group controller? They will receive the data from each group. Now how do they receive the data? Again, you go back to your M2M communication. Could it be a Bluetooth or could it be Zigbee, whatever it is, right? So now the group controllers are in the vicinity of these street light sensors. They start receiving the information which are given by the layer L1, right? So then what exactly these things do? These things will compose all this data, right? The data will be consolidated depending upon what exactly is the requirement. We call it as enriching the data, right? Then the consolidation of this data is for them to send to the internet, right? And once this task is over, that is the L2 layer task is over, you have already seen what exactly is the L2, that is the network layer, correct or not? The first layer is the device layer L1, L2 is the network layer, the third one is the service or application or support layer, finally you have got the application layer, like that. Okay, so now in this case we have got totally 6 layers, and accordingly we have modified these layers as per our requirement. Okay, so now from L2 it goes to L3. Okay, what exactly is the L3 layer here? That is the network layer. The first one is the physical, data link, network, then the transportation, the application, right? Or session, presentation and application. So in that the session, presentation and application, they are combined together, and accordingly my L3 layer here is to communicate a network system on the internet to the next layer, right? So now here I have got L3 somewhere. Okay, so now this you can take it as L3. Whatever the group controller switches are there which consolidate this data, gather, enrich, consolidate the data, then it will make sure that from this layer it goes to the other layer through the internet. Then comes the L4th layer. Okay, so L4th layer, what exactly the L4th layer does? It is the transport layer. L4th layer is the transport layer. So what exactly the transport layer does here? It is to give the device identity management, data routing to the next layer, right? So now suppose if there is some problem in, say, the switch the first light. Okay, so whenever it is being presented to the central control station, so each device management identity has to be done, right? So accordingly these data will be presented to the next layer, which is the task of the transport layer. So L1 physical layer, L2 the data link layer, again L3 is also a part of the data link layer or the network layer, the L4 it is the transport layer, right? So from there, from the transport layer, now we are going into the higher ends, right? We first sense the data, enrich and gather the data, then consolidate the data, then you try to put it onto the network. So then after it is being put into the network, you should have all other related parameters coming into picture for the device management identity or something like that, right? So then it goes to the next layer, which is the application support layer. So now this L4, L5, they are all coming under in this case. This is L4 or L5, something like that, because we are going towards the central command and control station, right? So in the L5, that is in the fifth layer, which is the application support layer, what exactly is done? Data managing, acquiring, organizing and analyzing, right? and depending upon the standard protocols. So here we call it as the internet protocol, TCP/IP protocol, that is the transmission control protocol, UDP, that also I have already told you in the previous class. So there are certain protocols based on which these informations are managed, they are acquired, they are organized, or even they are analyzed, right? So this is the task of the L fifth layer. Then comes the last layer in this case, that is the L sixth layer, the application layer. So this is where you have to take the appropriate action depending upon what you have started from L1, right, till your L6, right? The application layer, basically what exactly it does, it enables the remote programming and issues the central station directions to switch on or switch off, or give the commands to change the lamp, change the intensity, whatever it is, for the entire city. For the entire city, it is not based on the lamp, it is based on all the lamps that are connected to the central commanding stations. So this sixth layer happens to be one of the most important and complicated layers, because it has to take the action here, right? So you started from L1, okay, then you have come to L2, then you have come to L3, L4, L5, then from this L5 you have come to L6. So this L6 is for the central station. This L1 is for the physical devices to sense the data. Sense the data, then this is for the group controller switches. Okay, we have already seen in the previous diagram, right? So then the network layer, the data link layer and network layer, then the transport layer, this one L4, L5 is the application support layer, this L5 is the application support layer, and finally L6 is the application layer, which has to give the instructions to this again. Okay, so either to turn on the lamp, turn off the lamp, something like that. So this is how the six modified, I just write it like this, modified OSI protocol, or the OSI layers, open system interconnection layers, as applicable to the Internet of Things. So this is one of the design principles of the connected devices. Like that, you have several the design principles which could be followed, but basically you have the four important layers as per, again recall our Wiley model, let there not be any confusion. Those were the basic or the primitive models from where we started: the device layer, network layer, service or application layer, and finally application support layer, and finally you have got the application layer, right? So that we have modified according to the complexity that has been developed or experienced in the entire IoT scenario. So this is one example which you can take in order to make the understanding, or in order to convince, in order to get yourself convinced how the modified OSI reference model works for a particular IoT example, and the streetlight control could be one of the best examples. Like that, you can have that smart umbrella also. You just draw the diagram of the smart umbrella, and maybe in that case you may not have all the six layers exclusively defined or differentiated. Some of the layers may get combined, right? So they may get merged depending upon the lesser complexity of the system. Okay, so this is one example. Now let us go to the next reference model, that is ITU-T reference model. So what exactly is the meaning of ITU-T? International Telecommunication Unit. International Telecommunication Unit for telecommunication services. Okay, ITU-T reference model. Now as long as the ITU-T reference model is concerned, you can see here, compared to our modified OSI reference model, how it is different, right? So it appears to be a little simple compared to the previous case. Am I right? So this, why it is appearing simple is, unlike the previous case, here we have got only 4 layers, right? For understanding purpose, it is very simple, right? One is the device layer. The second one is the network layer, service application support layer, finally application layer. Now in between these, depending upon the complexity, you can definitely expand these things, as we have already seen earlier, right? So device layer, device and gateway capabilities; network layer, transport and network capabilities; service and application layer, generic and specific support capabilities. We will see what exactly are these things. And finally, service and application capabilities in the application layer, right? So now we can definitely try to correlate these things with our the different 7 OSI model reference also. Okay, so now the first layer, if you look at the device layer, right, we have got physical plus data link layer, physical plus data link layer, right? So then in the second network layer, you have got network plus transportation layer, physical data link layer, network plus transportation layer, right? So then in the next layer, you have got the application support. You have got application support. Okay, in the next layer you have got the application support, and finally here you have the application. Now you can quickly go back to our modified OSI reference model. The data link layer, physical layer, network layer, physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transportation layer, application support layer, and application. This is what is the analogy between the two. Physical devices here, then you have got the connectivity here, the next case. Then you have, in this particular case, you have got data abstraction, or you have the data accumulation, data element analysis, and transportation. And finally in this layer you have got the collaboration processes, or the application, where your big data analytics and other things will come into picture, as I have already told you earlier. So now if you look at this ITOT reference model, the first layer, the lowest layer, L1, is a device layer, and it has got the device and gateway capabilities. I have already told you what exactly we mean by the gateway capabilities. So in order to transfer the data from one layer to another layer, it has to be enrouted through the gateway. There are certain important protocols, otherwise it is not possible for us to make the exact transport of the data from one layer to another layer. You will have a lot of other operational bottlenecks there. Then coming to the second layer, that is L2, transport and network capabilities, as you can see here. Then the layer L3, the services and application support layer, right? So maybe here this has got two types of capabilities: generic and specific service, or application support service, right? So one is generic, means it is applicable to all the devices which are connected. Specific means with respect to a specific system. When we take up some examples, we will see what exactly we mean by a generic system and a specific system, right? Then followed by the fourth layer, that is the application and services. Now if you look at this 6-layered approach of the modified OSI reference model, and compare it with ITOT reference model, you have got some of the similarities between these two, but we need to see it from the point of view of your Cisco. Okay, so Cisco reference model. Okay, the Cisco reference model again gives you the 6 layers, right? So now if you go to the Cisco reference model, right, I am not able to bring it quickly back here, but you can definitely recall what exactly your Cisco reference model reveals, right? What exactly it tells about the different layers there. Okay, so now if you compare it with your Cisco reference model, you will definitely find certain similarities, right, between ITUT reference model and the Cisco reference model. uh, Now L4 capabilities, okay, the layer 4 capabilities of this reference model 1. Reference model RM1 means we have to look into uh, this only. Now I will just change these things, wait for a couple of seconds, okay, because let there not be a confusion. So now I call it as reference model 1, right? Reference model 1 for me is the ITUT reference model, right? So our ITUT reference model. Now I need to compare it with the Cisco reference model. We have already taken the Cisco reference model. I will just go back to the Cisco reference model where you had level 1, the physical devices and controllers. If you have that diagram with you, you can just look back, right? Then level 2, it is concerned with the connectivity in your Cisco reference model. Level 3, what we have called is as edge computing. Please get this word back, edge computing, level 3. Level 4, the data accumulation or storage, data accumulation or storage, level 4, right? Level 5, that is the data abstraction, abstraction of data, level 5. Level 6 is the application, level 6 is the application, that is the reporting, analysis and control. And level 7 in the Cisco reference model is the collaboration and process, right? So now those things probably you should be able to correlate with this here, whatever we have just seen in the case of ITUT reference model. My basic idea here is, whenever some model is asked for you to write or analyze, you should have a clear idea of all the concerned models. See, now so far whatever we have seen is, we have started from OSI reference model. I just repeat again, OSI reference model is the standard reference model for us, which may get modified depending upon the requirement of the IoT scenario. Okay, so once you start discussing about the IoT reference models, that is the design principle of connected devices in the IoT scenario, the first thing which we have taken is the IETF modified OSI reference model as applicable to this IoT. So IETF modified OSI reference model will have only 6 layers in comparison with the original OSI model, which has got the 7 layers. That means 2 of the layers of your original OSI reference model are merged together. Which are merged, that also I have told you, the basic physical and data link layer are merged, and the upper layers, though they are same, they are given the different names as applicable to the IoT scenario, right? So then the next model whatever we have seen is ITUT reference model, which is very much visible on your screen right now. So here in this ITUT reference model, you have only 4 defined layers. That definitely tells us that some of the layers are combined as compared to your OSI reference model. How exactly they are combined, where exactly they are combined, you can have the proper comparison between the OSI reference model and ITUT reference model, right? But why I have brought in Cisco reference model here is very interesting. Now the Cisco OSI reference, Cisco IoT reference model is exclusively taken up for the IoT applications. So that is the reason why now I have tried to correlate the ITU reference model or ITUT reference model with that of Cisco reference model. So whatever we are going to study subsequently in our IoT applications, so we will have to either refer to the Cisco reference model with the 7 layers. Of course your OSI also has got 7 layers. Only thing is that these layers are being called with different names. That is the only difference, right? So otherwise layer wise approach remains same, right? So now you have to compare the IoT reference, sorry, the Cisco reference model with this ITUT reference model. So I have already shown you the 7 layers which come in our Cisco reference model, and the same thing now can be compared with the 4 layers which your ITUT reference model presents, right? You will try to compare these things when we go to our next presentation. Now we have already crossed the time limit here, right? So what we have discussed in today's presentation is we have taken an example to explain what exactly we mean by modified OSI reference model or IETF modified OSI reference model with the example of a street light, right? With that particular example we have seen which comes where and what is the functionalities of each layers when you have taken up a real-time example, right? In the next class we will see some more aspects on these things, that is ITU reference model, and some example also we will take on this ITUT reference model, and with that example we will see how it is possible for us to apply this ITUT reference